Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Dan Mock's Rockbox. Welcome to this Monday evening. Hope we're all well. Hey, Addy. Hey, Kate. Dudes. Hey, Sylvia. Hey, Shardy. Hope we're all well and had a good weekend. We had a nice weekend. We met up with our great friend Karen, who we've not seen for ages. Had a little trip into Glastonbury. So yeah, and today we've just took it nice and slow. We've just come back to work in a slow pace. So, hey Janet, hope you're well. Hey Sarah. So yes, so tonight, it's the third installment of the Chakra workshops. I did go through these at the beginning of lockdown. But we didn't have these stored on this device, and we're linked into YouTube as well. I see that Janet, she's actually watching me on YouTube. So big love to the YouTubers out there. Please do subscribe. Please do get that page up and running for me. Thank you. So yeah, so I'm just running back through them all, and it's only brief. I'm just going to go through the crystals that we use for the solar plexus and what we'll be looking at when we do this in a physical workshop, which we will be relaunching back in January. We're going to be starting to do some face-to-face workshops in the flesh as from January. So please do keep an eye out for them and when they'll be running. Evening, Carolyn. Hope you're well, sweetheart. So the solar plexus, it's the third and final physical chakra. We have the base, we have the sacral, we now have the solar plexus. It's about 1.5 to 2 inches down from the base of your sternum. It's where your solar plexus lies, and it's a little bit higher in ladies than what it is in gents. And that's because of the ladies having a beautiful thing called the womb and bearing children. So it's the only chakra that differs within the sexes is the solar plexus chakra, and this is the yellow center. If we look at the solar system, in the center of that solar system is our sun, and that is yellow. And if we look at our little mini solar system, then we have the solar plexus and the yellow center in there. Even though the heart is the center of the chakras, the solar plexus is the center of our body, of the physicalness. So, and it's yellow, representing the fire element. And this is our control. This is our power center. So the overactiveness and the underactiveness will go more hand in hand with the power and the control, whether what we are to other people or our other people are to us. Hey Sylvia, who's also on YouTube. That's nice. It's nice. I've got 2 people on YouTube. Beautiful. Beautiful. And the mantra. Evening, Michelle. Hope you're well. I'm hoping to get this over and done with before 8 o'clock, because the beautiful Michelle Clark, she's over on UK Serenity Radio and she's doing a free meditation. I've not yet got onto one because I always talk too long on my shows, so I've always been too late to join, but I'm hoping to make this one. So let's see how we go. Hello, Angela. So yeah, and the mantra for the Solar Plexus, the mantras are the affirmations, the sentences that we can say to improve or to check in on the chakras. And when we looked at the base, they were I am. The sacral was I feel. And the solar plexus is I can or I do. So a couple of them is I do know who I am. I can be a responsible being. I can be self-motivated. But any of those we can put into our own lifestyle and just have it starting with either I can or I do. And you're just sending that down into your solar plexus. So really nice energies there. So the crystals. Hey, Kirsten. Hope you're well. So the crystals that we can take here. And the first one I will jump to is perhaps the most famous yellow crystal we can think of. And that is citrine. Beautiful member of the quartz family. One of the nice ones to take to our power center. So yes, we can have natural citrine, which is what I am showing you now. And then we know about the heat treated amethyst. And this can work in both ways. Heat treated can be done naturally. So if the amethyst is being formed close to a magna chamber, if it's being formed close to a heat source, it can naturally turn yellow. In Bolivia, we have the gorgeous region where we get the half and half, and we call that ametrine. And it's mainly always from Bolivia where we get the ametrine, where it's just the heat is at that level where it only affects half of the amethyst, turning it yellow, but keeps the other half purple for the amethyst. And then we get the heat treated man-made citrine, which we call this, some people call it lab treated. None of it sees a lab. Majority of the amethyst that gets turned to citrine happens there and then at the mine. And normally it happens to poor quality amethyst, the stuff that they're not going to get much money for. But by putting it into a high temperature, it reacts and sends it yellow, and then they can get more money for it than what they would have done being a cheaper, a low quality amethyst. Not my cup of tea, not my bag of Tetley is that. When I work with anything like that that's been intervented, I find the energy is a bit too off. There's like a high pitch to it, or like if someone's dragging their nails down a chalkboard, that's the kind of, oh, okay, your vibration is a bit too intense for me. But the natural heat treated amethyst, I'm all good for that. But then we do get the natural citrine as well. And this is a joy stone. This is a stone of upliftment. I did say to begin with, it's a member of the quartz. So with anything to do with the quartz family, we always have to think of our mind, because it all contains the quartz, which sends it up higher to the mind. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Sarah. Nice to see you, sweetheart. I ain't seen you for blooming ages. Hope you're well, gorgeous. It must be half term. So, yeah, so always be careful with citrine, because citrine will activate and work with the solar, but it'll also be up here as well. Great if you are studying. Great if you are a student, kids, if you've got exams coming up, or if you're writing things, because citrine is great for motivating the mind and keeping that going through and stopping you having a mind block. It just stimulates the mind. So yeah, free flowing. So if you're somebody who writes, but you get to that, my head's run out of things to say, or oh God, what was I was going to think about? What was I going to do? So Citrine will keep that movement and that trail of thought going with it. For me, I can't sleep with Citrine, and I don't really encourage it to be in bedrooms. When I get people come up to our stall and ask us what stones are good to sleep with, what stones are good to help with sleep, that triggers in my mind that, okay, so you're already using crystals for sleep. So then I always ask, what crystals are you already sleeping with, or what do you have already in your bedroom? And sometimes people say that they've got the chakra layouts, or they've got the chakra crystals somewhere. So I always say, what do you have for the solar plexus? And they say Citrine. And then I turn around and say, okay, don't bother buying any more crystals. Take that crystal out and then see what happens. Way back when I worked in hotels, I used to use my fellow members of staff as guinea pigs, as case studies when I was doing my training and development. And when it got to the solar plexus week, I think I had 13 pieces of Citrine, which I gave out to 13 members of staff, housekeeping, kitchen, waiters, porters. They all had management. They all had it. Receptionists, they had it. And I just said to them, connect, carry, sleep with it, see how you feel. And then they all came back saying that they didn't have a good night's sleep with it, which I found quite funny, until that night when I got home from work, didn't remove the Citrine tumbles out of my trouser pocket, took my trousers off in the bedroom, and then I tried to sleep. And I was up till 3-4 o'clock in the morning, literally thinking endlessly of anything and everything that was coming to my brain. Just what's going on? I was so restless. Ruben's mum was like, what's going on? Why can't I sleep? I was like, I don't know. I can't sleep either. And then it dawned on me, oh God, I've got Citrine in the bedroom. So out went the work trousers and sleep resumed. So good, Kate. Good. Yeah, and it will do. It's great to have there. And it's really nice to have if you're going to an exam, or if you're going to somewhere that's a little bit out of your comfort zone, because it brings in that positivity. It brings in that joy. And for me, all crystals keep a record. They're all records. They keep a little bit of that energy at the time. So for me, if you're using a crystal to study and it's by your laptop and you're revising, whatnot, if you're going to go to the exam, take that crystal, with you, and you should be able to pick up on the on what you were revising at that time when it was next to you at the laptop. Sorry about the bright light. I just realised I hadn't plugged my charger in. So yeah, it's a beautiful crystal, Citrine. Really nice to work with for the solar plexus. And also, you might find, and I always find this, if I do little talks at events, if I do little 45-minute workshops, if I with Citrine and I hold Citrine, I find it really hard, one, to put it down, and two, to stop talking about it. So it just goes to show there how it really stimulates the mind and keeps me talking about it. I think it's the one stone I don't stop talking about until every minute detail of it has been blurted out. Whereas then I pick up the others and they're a little bit like, lay off me, Dan. Don't be too harsh. So that's Citrine. And now I need a little bit of grounding. So this one will come up. And then we've got the beautiful green banded stone. which is malachite. Now, this is a green stone. So many people would say, whoa, there is a green chakra, the heart chakra. Why are you not using malachite on the heart chakra when it's green? That's because I like to bend the rules. And also, malachite is a copper mineral. So when you see it in the flesh, when you see it raw, it's quite powdery. When I use malachite, that powdery on the heart, I feel it's quite harsh. I feel the powdery quite choky. So it's not one that I use for the heart chakra at all. I like to use it on the solar plexus, and this is for any negative programming. Like I said at the beginning, the mantra for the solar plexus is I can, I do. So if we've grown up being told that we can't do this, we'll never do that, we'll never make anything of our lives, if we've always been degraded, then malachite is a best stone to remove that. It's literally the Dyson Hoover of the crystals. And because we've got this banding, because we've got these layers, that's the way it works. So even if some of us feel that this negative programming was way back in our past lives, we've got the banding here, we've got the layers here to take us back down to that and to really draw it out. So it doesn't matter how much or how long ago this happened to us. Using malachite, we can go on that depth and draw that out, leaving the solar plexus burning bright, burning yellow. So it's a beautiful crystal for that. It is a copper mineral. The sister is chrysocolor, the older brother is azurite, the grandfather is turquoise. So a little bit careful because it can be very powerful. It can be quite potent, malachite. It's not for the faint-hearted. It really means business. And if you connect with it, you connect with it because you want that business done. Don't pussyfoot around malachite, because malachite doesn't take any witnesses. It doesn't take anything for granted. It just comes in, does what it needs to do, and goes, well, you asked for me, I give what you want me to give. So yeah, very masculine energy, which is perhaps one of the reasons why I don't personally connect so much with it, because I don't like my high masculine crystals. So yeah, I so much prefer the sister, which is chrysocolor, bit more blue, and we'll talk about her when we talk about the throat chakra. She comes to the throat, but malachite for me is nice in the solar plexus. Some people do get that upliftment from it. Some people do get a nice joy energy from it. Other people get grounding from it. But for me, it's just my negative remover. And I've dealt with quite a few people in the past who had that and had that imprinted on them, that they're just worthless. They didn't know their self-worth, so they didn't know who they were. So malachite always came in handy with me to put onto their solar plexus and really correct all that they did. I was told to carry a little piece in one's purse. The citrine, yes. The one thing I didn't say about citrine, let me just put that banner back up so I don't confuse people. Yeah, so citrine is also a stone for abundance in the house, because yeah, if we don't have citrine in the bedroom, if we can't sleep with citrine, then where do we put citrine? Citrine is great for in the living room, or where you come together as a community, wherever that communal area. Some people use their dining rooms, kitchens have become a way of gatherings. Citrine likes to be there because of its abundant ability. It wants to hear your dreams. It wants to hear your future. It wants to hear your possibilities, your ideas, what your inspirations. So when we're talking to family or when we're talking to friends and we're going like, oh, I wish, oh, you know, next year I really want to do this, or next month I want to try and do that. It wants to hear that. It wants to try and influence that and send it out to the universe. So the living room or the communal areas is a great place. On top of the cistern, on the toilet, I have a couple of pieces there, and that's good for any urinary, any bladder problems, anything that I've not. But it, you know, when I get to that certain age, hopefully I've had enough citrine on the cistern long enough that my kidneys are in good health and I don't get any infections or altercations down below. So citrine on the cistern is good. But then, like Kate said about carrying a piece in your purse, we also have a wealth corner in our house, a bit of feng shui. And it's the furthest left-hand corner of your house. So if most houses, unless you're posh, are in a square, so, and the front door's normally at the front. So looking at your front door as though you're walking into your dwelling, your furthest left-hand corner, which for us is our kitchen. And I think most houses, their kitchen is in their left corner of their house. You could place a piece of citrine in that left-hand corner there, which is under our boiler. And that just keeps a little bit of positivity, a little bit of wealth in your house. Or you could just do a room. So look into your living room, for example. Go where the door is. Look at the door as though you're looking into the room, and find your furthest left-hand corner, and place a piece of citrine there. So that's where we can look at for that. Yeah. Yeah, the left is the most important part, because that's in the feng shui. That's where you grid. That's where your wealth corner is. So if you're not doing your left, or if you're not doing your furthest left corner, that's not your wealth corner. So it is very important. Okay, so if we liked the energy of citrine, but we don't really want to overstimulate our mind, if we want to, you know, hold that back, then the next crystal, yellow opal, top or bottom of house? Bottom. You don't want to do your top because you'll more than likely be putting it into someone's bedroom. And I've just mentioned citrine in bedrooms isn't the best combination. Unless you've got an upside down house where your bedrooms are downstairs and your living quarters upstairs. But it's where you commute, it's where you gather. I mean, if you have gatherings in your bedrooms, hey, I'm not teaching you how to suck eggs here. So whatever you do in your four walls is down to you. But wherever you gather as a community is where you keep the citrine. But if you are doing the gridding, don't do it where there's bedrooms. Do the living room, do the kitchen. Okay. So yellow opal, the next crystal. So this is a beautiful one for the solar plexus. And this one literally just keeps to the solar plexus. And opals are just amazing. And I love them. They're cleansing, they're refilling. They have that water element to opals. They're petrified water. So most opals contain between 6 to 10% water. So we've got that flow. So if we're somebody, you know, if we're the matriarch, if we're the head of the house, it might be that we're having to do this, we're having to do that, we're having to make sure that this is being done, that's being done, is that been sorted, is that bill been paid? You might be doing all that. So you are in control, you are in the power of that household, and it could get a bit draining. You're always having to be somewhere else doing something for somebody else, you know, parents with their kids, or kids with their parents if you're caring for your parents. So yellow opal is a great crystal to have with you to keep that solar plexus topped up, keep that water flowing there, keep that cup filled, so you can still do those jobs. And then at the end of that, you've got that bit of energy still for you. So you could be like, right, now I can have that cuppa and that bit of cake and just have me time. You're not drained, you're not erratic, you're not finding yourself being a bit controlling and snapping. You know, because there's some people who like to take on those chores, people like to do those jobs, but if they are draining, if it's getting too much for them, then they start snapping, they start losing who they are. And so yellow opal just brings them in and keeps that topped up, remind them of who they are, and yeah, stop them from getting any competitiveness, any overpowering traits. So yellow opal is one of my faves. If you don't like the head part of citrine, yellow opal just keeps it in the solar plexus region. One of my faves. Yeah, we do have some yellow opal. We certainly do. Absolutely, Shardy. Okay, and again, another one is one of the most teeny weeny crystals we come across. I think I may have chosen the biggest one. Peridot. Peridot. Okay. And these do not get much bigger. They are so tiny. And I love these because, yes, they are a green again. So why am I not taking them to the heart chakra? Well, that's because for me, I like them at the solar plexus. Because in Peridot, they are green, but you can see a little yellow glow in them. There's a little yellow light that shines through. And this just reminds me, because it might be small, but it can sure kick some butt. You don't mess with Peridot. It punches hard. And for me, again, this resorts to us. And if we feel like we are a small fish in a very big pond, and there are so many bigger fish in there, so this is more perhaps work related. If we feel we're a nobody, we're just a number, we're just on the corporate line, does the big boss actually know my name, blah blah blah. This keeps us going. This little yellow light in Peridot helps us to see that little yellow light in us. So don't beat yourself up on the small things. Do you really care if the boss knows you or not? You know, go in there, do your job, get paid, job's done. Bang. So it teaches us, you know, to perhaps drop the small stuff. Don't stress over the little things. Keep your power going. Don't let no one dampen that light. I love Peridot. I would suggest it's fine to sleep with, but because of how small it is, it might get lost. You might have to check all areas when you get out of bed to see where is this gone, because it is tiny. Very small stone, but I love it for being like that. And yeah, if I used to have people come to me and they were a little bit down in the dumps, if they've been through the mill, if they've been dragged through the hedge backwards, then I would perhaps put Peridot on their heart along with Citrine to give them a bit of a defib to restart their heart, to give them that big kick of joy. But for me, it's Solar Plexus. And also, it just reminds us that, you know what, the smallest of things can still be powerful. So don't feel like you need to have an ego. Don't feel as though you need to walk around with a chip on your shoulder and thinking that, yes, I've got power, therefore I need to exert it. I need to show it off. I need to let people know that I've got it. Peridot is just there to remind you of, hey, be quiet, be small. You know, small things have power as well. So be careful what you say, be careful what you do. And then that brings me to the next one. Beautiful Ocean Jasper. Absolutely love Ocean Jasper. I get Orca energy with Ocean Jasper, which hopefully I will talk about in the next season of my radio show on UK Serenity. It's not made the animals in this season. I'm now halfway through my shows, so it hopefully will be in the next season. Yeah, and it's that flow. It's the mother energy, and really bringing us into Mother Earth and back into nature, really connected. If we are, again, if we're working in a very far away as nature can be, so in factories, in offices, in built up concrete areas, we can get very disconnected and we can get quite robotic. It's very easy in hospitality, you know, it's so easy just to be serve the table, clear the table, lay the table, serve the table, clear the table, lay the table. It can get quite repetitive, and we could just go in there, do it. And after 25 years, there wasn't much that I couldn't do that wasn't like looking at the back of my hand. It was, but Ocean Jasper comes to us to kind of like give us a little slap around the face of, we need to reconnect. We are so away from who we are and what we are as a human. We need to get that balance back. We need to get our feet on the ground. We need to feel the rain on our face. We need to feel the wind in our hair. We need to be in nature. We're missing this element, and it's important that we have this piece of nature. It's important that we connect. We are animals. We are part of the kingdom. And there are people, you know, the CEOs, the fat cats, those Lord Alan Sugars, who think that just because they're on a top of a skyscraper that they're king of the universe. No, they're not. They need some Ocean Jasper. They need to get emotionally connected back to nature. So we can do that with the Solar Plexus. Ocean Jasper being a nice water element, again, cleansing, but bringing out that emotion. So if we're holding on to anything that it's stopping us and we need to release, we need to have a good goddamn cry, or we need to go in the middle of the woods and have a good scream. Just careful there's no one nearby us. I might think that there's a serial killer on the loose. But just go out there and just scream, let it out, reconnect with that element of your emotions, and just connect to nature. A mixture of the feldspar and the quartz family. But yeah, really, really nice. And also just with the link in with the orca energy, you know, if we look at the killer whale, it is an apex predator. On its own, it can pretty much take down anything. But these work in pods, like the wolf. They are the wolves of the oceans. So as one, they are strong, but as a group, they are formidable. And it reminds us of that sometimes, instead of being on our own, be social, get out there, re-tribe, be in your circle, be who you need to be with. Don't try and keep doing things on your own. Reach out to people, because what you might spend a week doing on yourself, you could find that you could do it in 2 hours with help. So don't struggle, reach out for help. So I love Ocean Jasper for that one. And then finally, I am coming to one of the toxic, well, most stones are toxic. Most stones can kill you. They all contain minerals that too much in our body can affect us. But this one does come with a caution, which is the Bumblebee Jasper. That beautiful yellow color. It's from Indonesia, and that yellow color is sulfur. And then also there are traces of arsenic. So not a stone. This is polished. So although I've chose this to be my last stone, because I will be washing my hands after this one, with it being tumbled, there's a less likely chance of it being transferred onto me, but I will still wash my hands. I'll still be a responsible being, part of the Solar Plexus mantras there, being a responsible being. So yeah, if I was using this in healing, I would put it on clothing or a blanket. I wouldn't put it directly on the skin, because some people will perhaps have a reaction to the sulfur, and we can't trace the arsenic. We don't know how much arsenic is in there. Some people will say that you can lick it and you'll be fine. I'm not going to suggest that. So please, if you got a piece of Bumblebee Jasper, do not put your tongue near it. So yeah, don't have it on your body for too long. So, and this one is a nice little catch-22. I like this because it's a volcanic mineral. So in the Solar Plexus, it really helps us to gain control of our power, to gain control of our life. So have we been a doormat? Have we been mistrusted? Have we had people breaking promises? Have we been used and abused? Bumblebee helps us to get that power back, and it can erupt. So it can take us to our head. Now, when the power goes to our head, that's when we get egos. That's when we get the I am better than everybody else. But then there is a grounding element to Bumblebee. So it takes us to the head. But before we can get inflated, before we think that we're something special, it grounds us and centers that energy down. So our whole being is full of this yellow volcanic power of, yes, I am. But it grounds us last. So we ground that energy back into Gaia, and allows us to realize that, yes, we're in control of our life. Yes, we have our power, but so does everybody else. We are just like them. They've got their power. I've got mine. We use it to the best of our higher self. So that's what it really teaches us, is how to transmit that energy out there without it being ego or alpha levels or in that energy. So it's a really nice crystal for that. So if any of us are scared of having that power because we think, oh God, and it might be nice for those guys who go on promotions. Again, I'm going to bring in my hospitality because there's been so many times I've gave people a promotion because they've worked blooming hard and they've really dedicated. You're thinking, God, I need you on my management. The second you give them a promotion, they become complete arseholes. And you just think, where's this come from? Why could you not be the person yesterday that deserved the promotion? Because today you deserve a kick in the head. So, yeah. So those people who, they take a little bit of a promotion and all of a sudden they think that there's something else. They're low down in sugar. Bumblebee Jasper would be a good one for them because, like, hey, guess what? You got that promotion because of who you are, not what you could become. You're already doing that, so keep doing what you need to do. So, yeah, I like Bumblebee Jasper for that, leveling out any bumps. So, and that. So yeah, oh yeah, London. I mean, although at the moment London is quite nice. Last time we were up in London, it was very quiet. But yeah, it is that whole. For them, they are just in that box, and they can't see past it. They don't say thank you. They don't say good morning. They don't. And for some of them, Ocean Jasper would be good for Londoners because some of them are just disconnected and they've not got that time. They're to a schedule. They're in that rat race. That right, I've got to be there and I've got to be there and I've got to be there. And they've got to be there. They've got to be 15 minutes ahead of where they are. So yeah, I do feel for those guys there because yeah, it's not a nice energy to be in, but I just think that comes with the job. That just comes with there, and yeah, they need Bumblebee and they need Ocean Jasper. They need to level out their power, and reconnect to who they are. They're not on that conveyor belt just going through life. They need to get off it and walk on grass, walk on that. So yeah, I do feel for them. So yeah, any questions at all about those crystals? Okay, I'm just going to go through briefly some of the things, some of the traits for an overactive chakra. Okay, so this is where we've got excess energy. We're being excessive, so we might need to bring that down. Okay, well, we'll need to bring that down because we're not in balance, so we need to balance it out. So controlling, intolerant, or excessively competitive behavior. That is, it's okay to have that little, oh, I bet you I can get there faster than you. But sometimes, and a bit like the London people, they can be quite competitive. They've got to get at that desk. They've got to get that work done quick because, there's somebody nipping at their heels wanting their job. And if that person does it quicker than that person, they could lose out on their promotions. Overeating and overindulgence, and citrine would be a beautiful, beautiful crystal for that, really helping us to think. Okay, and also if we're overeating, sometimes that could be through boredom. So if we can put citrine, give us that mind stimulant, we might find we can think of something else rather than what's in our fridge. A underactive solar plexus is insecurity, anxiety, and fear. Low body weight, poor appetite, lack of courage, lack of confidence, and poor self-image. Okay, it's that the lack of confidence and poor self-image, that's the kind of telltale signs that that person's not in control of their life. And that person may not be in their own power. So if they're with somebody else, try looking to see how their dynamics work. Is that person being buried under by the other person? If they're on their own, they might need that ocean jasper. They need that orca energy. They might need people. They might need that support. So ocean jasper could be there for them to let go of their emotions. They're holding things in, and they might be on their own. They need that little friend. They need that helping hand. Inability to focus and lack of organization. Again, that could be something for Citrine to come into, keeping ourselves organized and keeping ourselves going on that. So they are some of the symptoms there of an overactive or an underactive chakra. So yeah, but hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully that was enjoyable. Tomorrow night, because I am testing Facebook, because I don't think Facebook likes StreamYard. I don't know how well people are seeing me when I share this via StreamYard. So tomorrow night, I am going to come on board. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I'm going to come on live without StreamYard. I'm going to go Facebook Live to see and to test the numbers side of things to see if that helps. And then Wednesday night is the first of our sale weeks. We've got a sale on for the next 3 weeks. And that's just because we've done no shows this year. We've done no events. So we have got guardians that need to go out there and, you know, to thank all you gorgeous people for supporting us through here. We are running some sales for the next 3 weeks. And then Thursday, I won't be on because my show, Crystal Cornucopia, is on UK Serenity Radio. And this week, I'm talking about basking shark and the crystal aquamarine, 2 of my favourites. I actually was privileged enough to swim in Cornwall in the 7 years I lived there, and I have seen the basking shark up close, and yes, the water nearly turned brown. It was, even though they're plankton eaters, they're the second largest fish in the world. So yes, very scary stuff. And then Friday is our Zoom quiz night, where we do that on Zoom, and it'd be so nice to have Shardy back with us. She was very missed last Friday. And then Saturday, I have my elemental workshop, which is on Zoom. And then Saturday night at 7 o'clock, we are going live with our full moon altar. It's a blue moon. It's the second full moon in October. So the second full moon is known as a blue moon. It's also the pagan festival, the New Year. And we're going to do a water ceremony with this as well. So if you are near a source of water, if you've got some free flowing water, please do and collect it. And then on Saturday, we will do the grids as normal. And then we'll do a little ceremony in the middle with the water to bring in some healing energy. And the idea of that being a flowing source is we then return it back to where we got it from with our intentions. And then when we put it back, it flows then and mingles with other people's intentions, but goes around the world. So if you've got a pond down the bottom of your garden, that ain't going to work because those intentions are just going to stay in that pond. It needs to be flowing. we're off hopefully to Dartmoor tomorrow, so I'm hoping to pick up some water there. But yeah, I'll tell you more when I go on live about that. So yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed tonight. Any questions at all, do get in touch. But if not, have a brilliant evening. Have a great week, guys. So nice to see you all. Have fun. Take care. Bye.